Hello to our viewers across New Zealand and Australia. I'm Philip Duncan with your weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. And we've got this colder, windier weather pattern kicking in across New Zealand, but also into the southeastern corner of Australia. There's a really big southwesterly flow coming through, and for the next sort of week, it's going to dominate New Zealand and the southeastern side of Aussie, so Tasmania will certainly be getting it. However, as we go into the weekend, we've actually got a northerly flow, and it's coming out from near New Caledonia and Vanuatu and Fiji, coming down and into the South Island of New Zealand. So you're going to actually end this week on a milder note, certainly than it has been over the last 48 hours. So you've got a warmer northerly coming through, but mostly light winds into the North Island, and those windy cold southerlies and sou'westers continue on around Tassie and the southeastern side of Australia. Let's take a look at the forecast now. So as we go into Saturday, a couple of showers on the western side, but this is a front that's coming through overnight tonight and into the early hours of Saturday morning. So it passes through, then it clears up, showers and sunny spells, mostly dry overall, but there will be a few showers that make it into the east, although places like Marlborough probably staying fairly dry. As we go into Sunday, again, Marlborough dry to begin with, Nelson as well, but you'll be getting some rain or showers arriving later on. Similar story on the other side of Cook Strait, around Manawatu, Kapiti Coast, Horowhenua, up towards Wanganui, all those areas dry to begin with, but the clouds build up, the nor'westers start to pick up through Cook Strait. The rain comes into the west coast with some heavy falls, a little bit colder down here around Southland, around Dunedin, into Otago. It's certainly looking a bit colder. Now look, next week, it gets pretty unsettled. So Monday, we've got these big windy westerlies blowing through across the country. Another front clearing away, another front moving in, or fronts moving in. Could be a couple of isolated thunderstorms in here, but really the main feature will be these colder, windier conditions blowing through across New Zealand. Milder westerlies for the North Island, even nor'westers in some areas, dry and sunny in areas like Gisborne, East Cape, Bay of Plenty. Northland, I'm sorry, you and the far north continue to stay dry, but there will be a few showers coming in a bit later on for you. Okay, let's move on through because we've got some windier weather kicking in really next week, next Tuesday. You can see these big strong winds blowing through. So severe gales are possible in some parts of the country. More snow along the mountains, more wintry sort of showers down here in the south, although these are more westerly winds than southerlies. So they won't be freezing cold, but they will be fairly cold. Now, as we go through next week, things do start to calm down a little bit on Wednesday. It's still fairly windy though, but you will notice some places like maybe around Dunedin and maybe around Gisborne, the winds just aren't quite as strong as they were. So perhaps some drier spells as well coming back into these eastern areas. And by the end of next week, by next Thursday, a bit of a cooler south to southwesterly around New Zealand, going around this high, bringing very settled weather to much of Australia. And there'll be a bit of a cooler southeast flow coming up to these northern areas from Brisbane northwards right up to the Gold Coast, right up to Cairns, excuse me. So a few showers in the New Zealand area, and like I say, both sides actually, as that southerly comes through. But this big high is heading our way for the very end of next week. That is all from me. We'll catch you again next week because it is Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.